Hello and welcome back to This Week in Biotech. Today I'm covering biotech and pharma news from June 13th to 19th. This Week in Biotech edition number 57. On June 18th, the FDA approved Yeztugo or lenacapavir, marking a historic leap forward as the first ever twice-yearly injectable PrEP in the United States. In landmark Phase 3 Purpose 1 and 2 trials, fewer than 1 in 1,000 participants became HIV positive, an astonishing efficacy of 99.9% or higher, with nods to 100% protection in women from sub-Saharan Africa. And this matters mainly because of adherence. Shifting from daily pills to just 2 annual injections removes a major barrier for users struggling with daily routines or stigma. However, there are several challenges such as access. It has a list price of $28,000 a year, so $14,000 per shot, and so affordability might be a problem. Gilead promises insurance coverage and financial aid, but distribution hurdles remain. Gilead has also secured royalty-free licenses with generics manufacturers for 120 low-income nations and aims to employ accelerated regulatory pathways via WHO and EMA to fast-track global availability. Some experts say that Yeztugo is a breakthrough of the year in science, with analysts projecting peak annual sales of $1.6 billion by 2028. Gilead stock was steady though post-approval, and this is because some of the concerns that I mentioned, and also US budget pressures and budget cuts, especially to HIV research under the current administration. My take is that this is a milestone moment for HIV prevention. Yeztugo elevates PrEP from daily regimen to twice yearly shots, and I think this could be transformative for individuals facing stigma or struggling with pill fatigue. But I think there's some challenges this drug is going to face, like pricing, payer policies, and rollout strategies that will ultimately determine whether its potential is going to be fully realized. Next big news this week is Sarepta's gene therapy that faced hard stumbles. Sarepta has halted commercial shipments of Elevidys for non-ambulatory Duchenne patients and paused its confirmatory Phase 3 Envision trial after a second non-ambulatory patient died from acute liver failure. Both fatalities occurred within months of each other, and both involved high-dose treatment levels. This therapy, which is priced at $3.2 million per dose, had received accelerated FDA approval based on dystrophin expression, not clear clinical benefit. Shares of Sarepta plunged over 45%, reaching a 9-year low, and at least 4 firms, including Bank of America, downgraded the stock. Sarepta also withdrew its full-year revenue guidance. Some investors see this as Sarepta-specific dose issue because, as I mentioned, both fatalities were on the high dose levels. It highlights a broader need for safer AAV capsids, which is the mode of delivery of the gene therapy to the patient. Notably, uniQure is pursuing its own AAV gene therapy for Huntington's, and this company was largely unshaken, underscoring that the next-gen capsid platforms could finally find their moment in the spotlight. My take is that this is a major setback for Sarepta and in some ways also for gene therapy field. I think Elevidys might stay on market for ambulatory patients, but the deaths in more advanced cases definitely raise big red flags about safety. And I wouldn't be surprised if this put a spotlight on next-gen capsid platforms, especially if they can deliver safer, more targeted gene therapies. I think interest in players like uniQure and Sangamo could heat up. Next, we have 2 news about Eli Lilly. So first, the company is making a bold leap into cardiovascular gene editing with its $1 billion upfront acquisition of Verve Therapeutics, which could total $1.3 billion with milestones for its one-shot PCSK9 base editor called Verve-102. This aligns with Lilly's ambition to replace daily statins with a potentially lifelong treatment for high cholesterol. Early Phase 1 results have shown an average LDL-C reduction of nearly 60% with durable effects and no major safety issues, making it a potential game changer as a single treatment model for atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. I'm very interested in these next generation gene editing therapies. I think they have a big potential, and I'm going to do a podcast series, 3-part series with Hartaj Singh from Biotech Capital Campus We're going to discuss a lot about gene therapies, gene editing, and the companies in the space, and we're definitely going to focus on base editing. So next is Scholar Rock's new clinical trial data. In a phase 2 Embrace study, Scholar Rock showed that adding apitegromab to Eli Lilly's tirzepatide significantly protected lean muscle. About 55% was preserved, shifting the fat to muscle loss ratio from 70 to 30 to 85 to 15 over 24 weeks, while total weight loss remained comparable. The treatment was well tolerated with no new safety signals. And this matters because as GLP-1 drugs dominate the obesity space, maintaining muscle mass is crucial for long-term health and mobility. Scholar Rock's data suggests that apitegromab, their antibody, could become a valuable add-on therapy to improve not just shedding weight, but preserving vitality. If confirmed in larger trials, this combo may redefine obesity treatment by prioritizing quality over quantity in weight loss. At the Bio International Convention in Boston, FDA Commissioner Martin Makary unveiled a sweeping plan to overhaul drug approvals, tailoring requirements by disease, introducing synthetic control arms, and deploying generative AI tools like the agency's new model ELSA to speed up safety reviews and labeling. The FDA's goal is to move faster, collaborate more openly, and stop expecting companies to mind read expectations. To reinforce this shift, Makary also announced a new Commissioner's National Priority Review Voucher, which promises expedited review timelines, potentially cutting approvals from 10-12 months to just 1 month. And lastly, we have another clinical trial update. AstraZeneca's Ultomiris delivered compelling data in a phase 3 pediatric trial tackling HSCT-TMA, which is a rare post-transplant disorder with survival rates historically under 20%. The therapy achieved an overall survival rate of 87.2% at 26 weeks, which is a stark contrast to the expected outcome. Only 17% of patients met the full composite response, but a substantial 70% hit at least one clinical endpoint, and the safety profile remained consistent with prior studies. There are no approved rivals currently, and there are really strong survival metrics, and so Ultomiris stands poised to become a first-in-class therapy in its category, and that could be game-changing for this rare disease. This is all for today. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you want to know more, be sure to read the entire edition 57 on Substack. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and I'll see you next week.